I'm supposed to say it this way. It wasn't too bad. I know some of you were up late watching the election. Let's try it again. Good morning? Good morning. All right, that's better. That's better. So I'm Peter Joyce from RTI, and I'm going to talk about a campaign that we recently launched, which isn't working on the slide. We need to hit that slide. It'll play. It's a short GIF thing. Oh, well. I'm Peter Joyce. I'm going to talk about a campaign that we are launching called Ambitions Interrupted. And as I was getting ready to get over here this morning, I stopped by the office to pick up this easel and my poster and all this stuff. And as I'm leaving, our receptionist said, oh, are you going to be out today? And I said, yeah, I'm actually going out around the corner. I'm going to give a lightning talk. She said, a lightning talk? What's that? And I said, well, actually, you have to do a pitch or present a project or an idea, and you try and get people involved. But you only have the amount of time it takes for lightning to hit the ground. And I said, I'm hoping I can create a spark. And our receptionist, Renee, has a lot of faith in me. She said, Peter, I know you'll set a fire. And so that's what we're going to, I thought that was a good goal for a lightning talk, is to set a fire. And that's what we want to do with Ambitions Interrupted. So this started a few years ago. RTI came up with this notion that what if we all collectively worked on something and put our heads together around this issue? And so we pulled together about 43 organizations, universities, NGOs, corporate, private sector employers, and we came together for 2 days and dreamed up ideas that would change the equation. And in doing so, one of the top ones that came up was this idea of youth voices, and it came from one of our global media partners. And basically, global Youth Voices is a digital initiative that seeks to tell the story of global youth unemployment crisis as seen, as heard, and as felt by young people around the world. And so what we did was we built a platform, a web-based platform, where youth can come and upload stories, pictures, poems, video, that explain how they're feeling and how they see their economic opportunities. So what we did was we started with, in March, putting out 2 questions. 1, what is your dream job? And 2, what, if anything, is getting in your way? And in a short period of time, we had 400 stories posted. Many of them came from organizations around here that are part of the center who reached out to youth in their programs. And so then what we did was we said, okay, we put together a panel of judges, if you will, from our members, and they came together and they sorted through the 400 stories, and they came up with 35 that, when taken together, told the collective story, sort of like tiles in a mosaic, yeah? And then what we did was, once we had those, we licensed a commercial artist to draw portraits of each of the youth that were selected, and then we had professional journalists work with the youth on their stories to help embellish them, make them more readable, make them more powerful. And so these stories and portraits are now posted and hosted by Huffington Post, which is now one of our partners. And our media partners are actually pitching these stories to media outlets of all sorts. So that's where we're at the moment. So Youth Voices, really, the purpose is to show the humanity of youth as they take that long journey from youth to adulthood, from education to employment. Maria told me I should add a little pizzazz to my lightning talk, a few more sparks, I guess, and just highlight a couple of the stories. And so, you know, one that came to mind was a young man from Zambia, Nipata, and he wants to be a surgeon. That's his dream job. And unfortunately, his parents do not have the resources to send him to an appropriate school. And so even though he works as a first aid medic for the Red Cross in Zambia, he still struggles to get the education that he wants in order to pursue that profession. So what's the charge? How do we get the fire going? I invite you to come to our table. I invite you to read the stories on the Huffington Post. I encourage you to tweet or post the stories in your social networks to kind of put the word out. And then come and talk to us about the stories that you come in contact. Help us get more stories up there to create a much more robust database that is searchable, that can be accessible by the press, accessible by researchers, and help begin to get us to better understand the youth perspective. And finally, got to have giveaways. Anyone that comes to my table, I have these really neat flip books that have the portraits of the youth on them and in the link. I have for a limited time offer. If you come to my table, you can get one. If you miss out, if you're at the Making Sense conference, we'll have some more then. Thank you.